A great day for the grandmother hurling finals here at Beachy Head. In the last 3 eliminations, over 100 grandmothers were successfully thrown out to sea, out of which only 2 returned back in the penalty time of 1.5 minutes. Let's go over to last year's champion hurler and grandmother.
Clench your teeth. Here we go. Pop.
She's clenching her teeth now and...
Flatten out.
He's instructed her now to flatten out over the rocks when as she's about to go. Now.
Ready, dear?
I'm ready.
I think he's ready now. Looking at his watch, he's...
Good evening and welcome to another exciting show. By some miracle, I'm on here. I think YouTube have allowed me on here because for those of you that don't know what has happened, judging by the title of this program, last Wednesday, Caroline and I, we finished our program, and normally it takes about, 24 hours before I can actually, when you do a live program on PukeTube, as I call it, takes about 24 hours or so before you can actually back it up and record it, shall we say, so that if anything goes wrong, you've got a backup recording. Anyway, we finished the show and everything seemed to be okay. And next day I logged on in the morning and I got the it had disappeared. I thought, yeah, that's just strange. And then I got the wagging finger. YouTube said we violated community standards, and if I do it again, they'll give me a big smack and tell my mummy. Well, not exactly in those words, but well, I think they'd have to go to the cemetery to tell my mummy. But no, what it is that apparently because Caroline, how can I put this carefully, stated some facts about a certain area, and it's provable facts, we've got booted off. Now, as I've often said, censorship, truth doesn't need censorship, only lies do. And admittedly, I was a little bit upset because the program is actually destroyed forever, because I tried downloading it from Caroline had a backup on Facebook and that actually crashed. So that program is just gone, sadly. And I'm very, very sorry. Last week we said, we're going to answer the questions that you put in the chat. But YouTube had taken all them down as well. So they took all the chat down. There was several comments that went as well. So, and they said, if I do it again, I'll get a 7-day ban, which to me, I want to leave YouTube. And when you think of the people that have left YouTube, they've done all right. When you think about it, there's REDICE creations. I won't say it out because what happens, I found with YouTube, if you say certain words, their computers pick up things. So I'll spell things out. And there's, I can say Alex Jones. Alex Jones, he's been booted off of YouTube. And also there's the Corbett report. Now he's leaving YouTube as well. And my feeling is that sometimes people get too big for their boots. I'll give you an example. Now, my father's sister's husband, my uncle, he worked on the railways. Now, my father was the youngest of the family. His sister was about 20 years older than him. And they died all in the 70s. But he worked on the railways, and I inherited, when he died, my dad got a lot of the tools that he used. And when my dad died, I inherited the tools as well. So they sort of go through the generations. And there's this bloody great spanner with Armstrong written on the side. And Armstrong was one of the largest engineering companies in Great Britain. And in the 1920s, around the First World War, Edwardian times, if anybody would have thought that Armstrong would be no more in over 100 years' time, they would have laughed at you. Armstrong were into everything. You name it. They made a car called the Armstrong Siddeley. And funny enough, that same uncle, he actually bought an Armstrong Siddeley. He bought it cheap during World War II. So it was a huge, huge company. Where is it today? Gone. Look at the East India Tea Company. Where is it today? Gone. And I've got a feeling that YouTube, yes, it's riding high now, but if they carry on with this censorship and more people are going away from them, then that will be the end of YouTube. Now, I'll just have a quick look in chat because I really enjoy these sessions where I can speak to you in chat and it's a two-way process. I love that. I think it's great, but I've got to announce some changes because I don't want to be banned and I want to ease myself away from YouTube, but I still want to keep this sort of chat going because I think it's great. So I'm going to have a quick look in chat. My word, he's busy. And we got Adrian. Yes, I think you are the first one there, Adrian. Yes, I'd agree with you there. You're the first one on, and you'll get you'll be the ink monitor today. No, was it first one when I was a kid? Oh, stars. That's it. Yeah, you get a gold star. Sorry, you ink monitor was the person that did something wrong. Sorry, Adrian. Now, evening, Eric. Hello, Ralph. And hello, Louise. And oh, hello, Angela Davis. Hi, Chris. Sounds like you have had a dressing down. You must be doing something right. Yes, that's right. Actually, I'm actually looking at this as if like a sort of, during a war, pilots on the side of their aircraft have all the planes that they've shot down. They put little crosses over them, don't they? And like you see World War II pilots, you see little swastikas and they put a line through it. Well, I'm thinking of it sort of like a YouTube line through it, yes. And it's sort of, yes, I've come of age. It shows that you're doing something right. You're selling the truth. So, Adrian Davis, frozen. Am I? That's pretty warm in here. Now, what's it? He's been a very naughty boy. I have, haven't I? Do you reckon I ought to wrap my knuckles? I mean, you could have an option like that. You could sort of get a slap round the face or something. Dressing down, naughty, aren't you? Now, testing. Eskimos are anti-Semitic. Are they really? I thought it was a lavatory cleanser, isn't it? Yes, anti-Semitic lavatory cleanser goes right round the U-bend. Right. There's Louise. Hello, Louise. He's not coming out. He's been a very naughty boy. What Monty Python film? That's right. Actually, I've got a filthy Hancock joke tonight, and it really is a filthy one. So remember, if you are, shall we say, delicate, you have ladies present who are get a little bit worried, or the vicaries come round, tell them to sod off, or piss off, basically. Just to get to the point, to piss off, best thing to do. And I'll tell you the Hancock joke a bit later. Right. Hello, DJ Beto. And there's Ralph. Hello, Ralph. Life of Brian. Yes, that was it. He's been a very naughty boy. What the Romans ever done for us, eh? Yeah. Oh, Ralph, you don't. Do you want to start it? All right. You can be the milk monitor. I'm old enough to remember we used to get free milk before Margaret Thatcher took it away. And what do you want, Louis? I want to clean the chalk eraser. I don't know. I think when I was at school, teacher threw a lump of chalk at me, and I was a bit of a goody-goody. I used to sort of sit in the back of the class like that. And she thought I was misbehaving, and I wasn't, because I used to sit and gaze out the window. I always to sit next to the window going. And one of the teachers said to me, "Curiosity killed the cat, and that's what will eventually kill you." I'll never forget that, because I was always, and she asked me a question, it was, because it was more interesting, because next to my school was a great big field, and you used to see sparrowhawks hovering over it, and you used to see little bunny rabbits running around, and that was far more interesting than what was going on in class. Anyway, on with the changes. Now, number one, I always believe in turning a disadvantage into an advantage. So what has this threat of a ban done? Well, it's given me a boot, excuse my language, a boot up the arse to get on and do my website up, because it's been since 2017 and I haven't updated it. So smack. Okay. And I can actually put radio on there with ease. Now, Caroline, when I do with Caroline Stevens, when I actually do a program with her on Wednesdays, she broadcasts at the same time on Facebook. Now, she's faced a ban, I think, on Facebook. I do not know whether she'll be able to or not. But by hook or by crook, we will do a program on Wednesday. But what I will not be doing on Wednesday is, because I believe in free speech, I won't be broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube. Sorry. What I'm going to do, I'm going to record the program, okay, and we'll be broadcasting live on Caroline's Facebook account if she can, and I'll make an announcement on YouTube, because I'm going to use YouTube like a signpost at the moment. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to record the program on Wednesday and load it up to BitChute, and a link to the BitChute account is below this video. Okay. Now, I know that BitChute are now censoring, but my eventual plan is to load it also up to my website, which is, if I can find it, get one of these banners. Where is it? Which is a bit out of date at the moment. FockhamHallRadio.com. So on Wednesdays, we will no longer be broadcasting live on YouTube. It will be on Caroline Stevens Seeking the Truth. Now, I'm also on, have I got one here for this? Where are we? I'm also on Citizen Band, okay, which is similar to Facebook. Well, let's put it this way. Citizen Band, it's for naughty people like myself who've been booted off of places like Facebook, where we can go, I can say what you want. So citizenband.com. I'll just tap that in. Let's create a banner. Where are we? So it's Citizen Band. Should have done this before. Come on here. .com. Add banner. Here we go. And here it is. Citizenband.com. So I'll be loading up videos to that. And I know I'm not going to get banned off there. So, but that site has been attacked a hell of a lot of times. But I've been looking around at alternatives to, where are we? I've been looking around for alternatives to this YouTube, and people have kindly suggested them, which is very kind. I'm just looking through my book here. And now, where is it? There was TrueTube that somebody kindly suggested. I had a good look at TrueTube, and the big problem is that it's two problems. One is it's a university-based one. I think it's University of Kent, and it's aimed at children. And I don't think they want some going on cracking dirty jokes. And as it's university, it's very establishment, so they might be pro. Just one moment. Our gracious leader, and here he is. Yeah, our gracious leader, Sir William of the Toxic Brew. His Royal High, I think it's Royal Highness now, isn't it? You know, but I think that's how we should address him. Your gracious leader. Again, this is why YouTube want to boot me off, because I've been so naughty what I've said about our gracious leader, and who helps to finance the BBC and places like that. So I can't use TrueTube because I don't think I'd last very long. And again, it's not nice. I mean, if it's for children, no, they don't want people coming out with dirty jokes on there, do they? I wouldn't have thought so. DTube is a possibility. So DTube. Now, the other one is brand new tube, but unfortunately, I can't seem to load anything up on it. I don't know why. And it sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't. Because, you know, I'm sitting on there. I mean, if you want to see Dr. Coleman and that lady that used to be on People's Voice, what's her name? That lady, and well, yeah, you can go on brand new tube. But I've actually, when I did manage to upload something, I've uploaded 2 of my videos, and I got a fantastic response. I think 4 people looked at it, but it's a possibility, because what I'm thinking of doing is going to YouTube and doing something like a 1-minute brief and saying I'm on to brand new tube. So these are possibilities, but BitChute is temporary because they are starting to censor and they've knocked down a lot of sites on there. But if anybody's got any suggestions, please say. But my objective, because I always believe you should have an objective, is to do what Richard D. Hall has done. And I'll just show you his site. There he is, richplanet.net. And he does everything from his website. And I think that's what I'm going to have to do soon. But I will miss this chat thing with the chat room. I love that. I really enjoy chatting to you via the chat room. This sort of two-way process is great, and answering the comments. So if I can actually find a way on my website, now, is there any clever sods out there that could give me advice? Anyway, I can actually have a live program like this with a chat room and comments. Please tell me, because at the moment I don't know how to do that. So if I can do that, I'll be a very happy man. And what I will do, I'll just have a very brief, I'll use it as an advert, YouTube. I'll just come on and just say, please go onto my website, blah, 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 and that's it. Right, let's have a quick look in chat, and got something else to tell you. Right, where are we? Now, who created all wars? Mel Gibson. Yes, good point there, Adrian. Very good. Oh, by the way, please excuse me if I'm trying to sort of be very careful what I say tonight. So I've got a bit, you know, and that's why I'm thinking a little bit more before I speak, because it's a bit like a verbal minefield I'm walking across. You know, it's like, right. Actor GATES. Spot on. That's right. Right. It's great to start with a laugh. I was always at the back of the class. Same here. I've always been like that. I've always sat at the back and near the window. Right. And 2 strikes, and you are 1 strike from being terminated. Corporate dictatorship. Dictatorship-ism. Yeah, you're right there, Adrian. Yeah. I mean, as I say, if I say put a foot wrong tonight, then you won't see me for a week. So, you know, unless you go on a Citizen Band, or you go onto my website and smack wrists, I actually do that now. What we got here? Louise, FB has been censoring long before. Yeah, so I will catch up on your website or try the other option. Yes, because on Facebook, you see, I use different names. My real name's Chris, as you can see in the corner here. But just to confuse the censors, I'm Eric Von Essex on here. And Facebook, keep this to yourself, Peter Croft. But shh, keep it to yourself, right? Don't tell anybody. Right. Hello, we got David Pope. Odyssey is being used by Windows on the world. Very good. Please update your email address on your site so we can keep in touch in case your channel goes. Thanks, David. Yeah, you got a good point there. Yes. Well, actually, it's going to wee with rain tomorrow, so I won't be able to do much work. So I'll probably get on with it tomorrow. And, big smack if I don't get on with the website. Good. Thanks, Dave. Yeah. Oh, by the way, talking about Windows on the world, last night I was in his chat room and he's doing his program. And somebody asked me whether I'm going to do a program about blood types, blood groups, because it's quite interesting, about recessed negative and positive. And it's a very interesting subject. And no, it's not all about medical issues and things like that. It's about the type of personalities. Anyway, I'm just about to answer this person. So if you're in chat tonight, this is an apology. So I thought, yes, I'll be looking into that. And just started, and the chat room switched me off. So hope you don't think I'm rude. I was going to give you an answer, but I couldn't. So hope I'm forgiven. All right, and we got here, Louise. David is right. A lot of YT band users go to Odyssey. Yeah, I've tried them. I've looked on Odyssey. I found it a bit confusing. You could also use Speaker Live without video. That's an idea. Yes, Spreaker. Sorry, it's with an R, isn't it? I always call it Speaker. It's Spreaker. Yes, I know that Mark Windows uses that, and he's. I think he'd have to say, but I get the impression he likes it, but you'd have to ask him direct. Paul, thanks, Paul. Try LBRY. A lot seem to have moved to it. Well, I can't thank you enough. It's very kind of you. Look at these platforms because, as I say, I think my days are numbered on YouTube, and the chances of not putting a foot wrong, I mean, I'm being very, very careful tonight, but once you've said something, because they're these little things that because when I think back of that program I did with Caroline, I think it was a bit too loosely spoken on there. So, what we got here? Yes, please. The blood groups. Yes. Well, what I'm thinking of doing is on Mondays doing the mystery hour, okay, and doing the serious stuff on Wednesdays. So Mondays, as I've said, Colin was supposed to be looking into Bigfoot, but I think he's being dragged off by a Bigfoot to meet the family who live in a council flat in Birmingham. Colin's sort of, he's gone walkabout. I don't know where he is. But no, I've been told that there's a chap called John Hammer who looked into the Titanic, and he's written many books on the falsification of science and things like that. Very interesting chap. I will try and get him on. Can't promise anything. And the other one is subject I'm going to look into, which I've researched into quite a lot, and people are going to go, oh, is witchcraft, because there are two types of witchcraft. There is the black witchcraft and there is the white witchcraft, and the white witchcraft is good and the black is, I believe, allegedly, unless you can prove me wrong, is evil, or it's the dark side, so to speak. Now, a dear friend of mine, Torna, who sadly passed away around 18 months ago, she was a white witch, and we was going to do a program together. And sadly, she passed away before we did. But she was going to enlighten everybody about which, and really what it is. What I got from her was that white witches were the healing ladies. They didn't put curses and things like that on people. They were the wise women of years ago. And if you were ill, you would go to a wise woman, and they had the healing arts. And it's worlds apart from the other type of witchcraft. But it's something that's rather interesting. And I'm going to, I'll do a subject of it. And there's actually a shop called White Witch in Waltham Abbey. And I've spoken to the proprietor of the shop, very nice people. And, I might be able to drag one of her people kicking and screaming on at the show. So you never know. But, it'd be nice to do a show about all different subjects like that. And also the pyramids, because they're going to laugh at this. I believe the pyramids were built of concrete. Seriously. He's definitely flipped now. But no, seriously, there was a chap, I'm not sure if he was an engineer or not, I looked into it, and he said, they had the skills to make concrete in those days, and they didn't haul loads and loads of rocks all over the place and have slaves and all that. No, they built it out of concrete. Interesting. But I personally believe that about Stonehenge. Now, people, whenever an archaeologist doesn't know what something is, they always say it's ceremonial. Now, I think Stonehenge, between you and I, was a Stone Age public toilet. It's a crap house. Because you think about it, in those days, you go hunting, you're caught short, where'd you go? And I think that crap house was built by the Stone Age town council of that era, because who else would build a shit house in the middle of nowhere that would cost a small fortune to have rocks dragged all the way from Wales to Salisbury Plain, and they've got a ditch round the outside, and those rocks are placed in such a way you can put the toilet rolls there? I am joking. I got you going then, didn't I? Right, let's have a go back into chat again. Now, where are we? Please excuse me if I missed you. I know when I'm talking with Caroline, I'm always missing people. Oh, there's a load of questions in chat last Wednesday, and they've all gone. We can't answer them. So I'm so sorry. Right, there's Ralph. Hello, Ralph. Yes, Telegram, an alternative to Facebook. I've heard that on the, no, I won't say it, REDICE, Red Ice, opposite it. Yeah, because they're doing very, very well. They used to always be on YouTube, but they're always on about Telegram. Now, what we got here, Adrian. How long have you known Mark Windows? That's a good question. Blimey, how long have I known Clone? A couple of years, I think. I've never met him. I've spoken to him on his radio program several times, but I've never met him. I don't know how many years I've known him, but I've known him, my rough guess, about 5 years, 6 years, something like that. Right, now we've got here Louise. Black witch versus white witch. The white witch usually wins when surrounded by love. Well, you know more about it than I do, Louise. It's yes, it does seem to be a very loving type of thing. I mean, when I go into this shop and where are we? Hello, Ralph says, I've been in the White Witch. Oh, you've been there. Waltham Abbey. Yes, and you've met probably Debbie, who's the proprietor. Very nice person. And, if next time you go in there, you can say, Do you know that geezer called Chris? You go, oh no, not oh. Right, as Adrian, which honey trap will last the longest? Which honey trap will last the longest? I don't know. Sorry, Adrian, I think you'll have to explain that one a bit more. I'm a bit thick tonight. Which honey trap will last the longest? No, you've lost me on that one. Any ideas? Right. You men have always peed up walls for a few meads. Always peed up. Yes. Back down. Here we go. Laugh out loud. Forgot to say LBRY, a library, runs great on Ubuntu. Oh, really? Because I'm running on I'm using Windows tonight, Windows 10. But I prefer Ubuntu. Brilliant. I just don't like Microsoft's sort of attitude when it backs up. You know, I will be backing up now. Whereas with Ubuntu, it's, would you like to back up now? It's also very, very polite. Anyway, do you want to hear the Hancock joke? No, I'll put it up a bit later. But actually, I've been thinking some crackpot ideas, you see. Now, do you remember those was it in the 80s and 90s? Kids bought these like headband things with springs coming out with little balls on the top. Do you remember that? And they used to run around with these balls going dunga 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 dung on their heads. Well, I'm thinking of spreading a rumour that if you put them on your head and go like that, it nuts the virus out the way. Oh, I said the word. Whoops, I've said it. You can, or wear a crash helmet so you can walk down the road and go bosh and headbutt. People would believe it. They really would. You know, if you got Professor Plonker, they would believe it. Right now, I'm trying. Louise, honey trap equals woman to trap unfaithful men. Meads equals beer. I always believed what Fuchsia said. And that is, woman like spider leads to flies undoing. Anyway, Hancock, you know, he is. I think he should be patron saint to village idiots because, you know, the man who is, I think, as Vernon Coleman calls him, the man who's the sort of Eddie the Eagle of statistics. How does an educated twit like that have power? It's frightening, isn't it? So anyway, he moves offices and he goes into this new office, you see, and he's looking around, opening the drawers and all that. And he finds a packet of tampons in the drawer, you see. So he looks on the side. It's got instructions. It says, place in organ. Now, he hasn't got an organ, so he shoved it in his piano. Anyway, that's an old one, isn't it? We've got Dan MC. Hello. Now we got here. What's this? This is Adrian. Yes, you've explained myself now. I meant with FOC video forum, nothing comes FOC unless there is a hidden charge. Yes, you're quite right. Oh yes, a forum on your video forum. That's the trouble in it, you know. I've found that very little is free. I mean, I really do like StreamYard. I think StreamYard is really good. I won't go on to Wiz and all these other bloody things. And there's a few other ones in that. But I mean, I've got really good software called Serif. And it was really good that I built my website with. And it was bloody good software. Well, they don't do that anymore. And it won't run on Windows 10 properly. So I've got to use my old computer to run it. And what happens, you know, I've tried to load it up on Windows 10. It just sort of goes, huh. And I don't know of any good website building software on Ubuntu. There might be, but I haven't found it yet. And I haven't really found anything much on, that's public domain that you could use. I really knew how to use Serif. I think it was Web Plus, was it 13, 14, something like that. It was really good, that software, but that's life, isn't it? I know we're a British firm, so, you didn't have to, if you had a problem, I think they're in Nottingham, you could phone them up. Whereas, you didn't have to go sort of to High Street Hong Kong to find out what the problem, solve the problem. Right, we've got Louise. Love the fly analogy. Me and my hubby, it fits. Well, there used to be a lot of jokes like, for example, do you know the difference between a Swiss naval captain and a Hoover vacuum cleaner? A Hoover vacuum cleaner sucks and never fouls. See, nothing rude there. And also, do you know the difference between a seagull and a baby? Anybody? A seagull flits around the shore. And of course, there's the old one, which everybody probably heard, is a schoolboy one. And that is the difference between, what is it? A constipated owl and a cross-eyed archer. And the cross-eyed archer shoots and never hits. Anyway, what we got here? Ralph, amazing software, Chris. I've used it. Shame it's discontinued. Yeah, I know. I was gutted. I can't find anything that's as good as that. I really can't. And I mean, my new computer, I can't run it on it. I can only run it on my old slow one, which is using Windows XP. I bought Windows 7 and I was going to update it, but I've got a dual boot on my, which people are probably thinking, well, you got an hobnail boot on his computer. No, I've got a dual boot on there where I can go from Ubuntu to Windows XP. And I'm not sure, I think Serif does work on Windows 7, so I might upgrade it, but it's a real pain. It really is. It's very slow to use it because Windows XP is really creaking now. And, but that's life. So if anybody knows really good software, which I could use, please say. But I know that Serif is still in business. So, if I could beg round the directors, can they bring out a new one, please? Right. Now, what you have got, as Louise, what have you got if you have a giant green ball in each hand? Total control over the jolly green dart. Oh, I like that one. Actually, I don't know if he's on it tonight. There's a bloke called Stealth Campervan Man. And he comes from my neck of the woods, actually. And he lives in a van. And he's a brilliant artist. And if he is on it tonight, hello. He's got quite a good sense of humour. And he does some, I've never seen paintings like this fella does. It's a natural talent he's got. And if you go on there, he's gone into more abstract now, which is not my cup of tea. I'll be straight with you. I'm not that keen on abstract. But some of them he does are really, wow, they're like photographs. It's really quite, he's quite a clever chappy. I can tell you that. So if you like art, go on to the Urban Stealth Campervan Man. And so this Wednesday, I don't quite know where you've found. We're going to do a broadcast, but how, I do not know. So I think you're going to have to sort of watch this space. What I'll do probably on Wednesday is I'll do a couple of minutes telling everybody before the show where it's going to be, because I don't know, because I think that Caroline's been banned as well. I know she's been banned off YouTube. She's been banned. I'm not sure about Facebook, but if push comes to shove, we might do it on my Facebook account. So we don't know. So, you know, now, yeah, it's a good that one, isn't it? Good jolly green giant. Now we got here, Louise. My daughter does digital art. Hang on. My daughter does digital art. Will look your friend up. Oh, that's good. Yes. Now this chap lives in. You see, I'm interested in stealth camper vans because I've probably told this before. You know, I've always fancied having a van and converting it, and sort of just so you just not like these big camper vans that people have, not like that, but one that you just sort of would blend in, and so you can do what is called wild camping, and that is you don't go into campsites, and I don't particularly want to go to a campsite and meet Mr. and Mrs. Bloggs who bought the Daily Express yesterday and and managed to buy a McDonald's and go away. No, I don't like crowds. Yeah, so I'm was thinking of actually getting a van. Now I can't go abroad anymore. Well, I haven't really been in the first place in a van, but I was thinking, well, sometimes you get some quite nice winter's days, and I've always had this incredible attraction to Cornwall. I don't know why. I mean, when I was a kid, I went there and I fell in love with the place. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic place. And I think there must be something in my family roots, because I know that Jeremy Irons was talking once, that's the actor, and he said he kept going to this particular place in Ireland and he didn't know why. And eventually he bought a house in this particular place in Ireland. And then he looked into his family tree and found out one of his grandmothers, I think it was, great-great-great-grandmothers, was born there and lived there. Now, there must be some family link to well, I know there is from my mother's side, but it goes way, way back. So I've always had this sort of yearning for the West Country. Cool. So I'm still thinking of buying a van and converting it and probably stay a couple of weeks in the winter months. I mean, going to the West Country in the summer months, forget it, especially this year, because you're going to have, because people can't go abroad, you're going to have all the tourists going there. And quite honestly, the roads are absolutely choco. So forget it in the summer. And I was thinking sort of just going down there, if we have a mildish winter for a couple of weeks, then coming back. And then, because let's face it, from about November, but November, December, January, February, it's only March this time of year that we start to sort of see spring arriving. We have sort of 5 months of yuck, really. That's why I wanted to go to Portugal, but you can't go there unless you go. Here we go. As Adrian. Hello, Adrian. Question: what does Caroline and David Icke have in common with each other? Don't know. Secret sort of. Don't know. I've got a picture up on the wall. Don't know. I mean, I know David Icke. He probably means well, but I think that he's being used by the powers that be. As a kind of, I can explain it. Look at that silly man. He's saying that as a kind of, he's definitely being used. Whether he knows it or not, I think he is, because how do you get onto the BBC? If you or I try to get on the BBC, I think you've got more chance of finding a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. But I don't know what I got in common. Anyway, right. Louise, I always wanted a Roman gypsy horse-drawn barrel caravan. Yes, they used to do holidays I don't know if they still do, in Ireland, where you could actually hire a horse and caravan. wouldn't have thought they'd allow that now, because I mean the only thing I know about horses is they've got 4 legs, food goes in one end, and what's very good for my roses comes out the other end. So, and my rhubarb. So I wouldn't know anything. I wouldn't know how to care for a horse, and so I don't know. Where are we? Cornwall, yes, Ralph. Cornwall is beautiful. It's heaven. There's something about Cornwall. It's the light. It's something about it. I tell you what I like is the old fashioned. Now I don't drink or smoke, but I do like the atmosphere in the old Cornish inns. With all fishing nets all over the roof, and it's something fantastic. And strangely enough, I was talking about witchcraft earlier. In Boscastle, I think there's a museum of witchcraft there, which is quite interesting. And another subject I'm thinking of covering on the Mystery Hour. Again, if Colin comes out of hibernation. All right, Colin, he's a good bloke. If he comes out of hibernation, we'll probably do Bigfoot and cryptozoology, which is his subject. He's sort of really into cryptozoology. But the other one was HSP, highly sensitive person. I've covered that in a previous video, but it's quite an interesting one. Now, what we got here? I moved to Norfolk. This is Louise. Then found out my great-great-grandfather was born here. Yes, my friend Torna, who died about 18 months ago, she had a yearning for Norfolk, and she found out she was she used to look into she was a member of, was it ancestry.com. She was a genealogist as well as a white witch. She did a lot of things, and she found out that her quite recently quite a lot of her family came from Norfolk. It's funny that, isn't it? Now, what we got here? This is in answer to Adrian's question, I believe, which is what has Caroline and David I got in common. Both got banned from YouTube. Maybe, yes. I don't know. Right. Now we got, I think Ike's, this is Emin. Hello, Emin. I think Ike's done more good than harm. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a bit like, what's his name? Old Grady voice. Alex Jones. Now, to me, he's like a thermonuclear nervous breakdown. I'm glad he realised that, I won't say it, but SARSCO, yeah, was a complete LIE, instead of saying it was more in a lab like so many others. Yes, you're right there. Please excuse me being a little bit careful what I say, because I don't want to. I'll miss you for a week if I get booted off YouTube. And we got here Ralph with the pasties and cream teas. That's right. I remember when I was a kid, we went down there, and I think it was Walls did Cornish. Well, I still do Cornish ice cream, and I had when we got to, when was it? Must have been Devon, because you get Devon ice cream and Cornish ice cream. And I had the very first, no, must have been the border of Devon. I had my first Cornish ice cream there. Totally different to what you buy in the shops. Absolutely gorgeous. Does anybody remember? They don't do it now, where you could buy Cornish cream. I think you could buy Devon cream as well and do it. And this was before it was all privatised. They had a deal, I think, with British Rail, and you could send some Devon or Cornish cream to a relative anywhere in Great Britain, and it would arrive the next day. Does anybody remember that? When I was a kid, we went on holiday, and I think my mum and dad sent some cream to my mother's parents. No, hang on, no. Yes, there was, no, hang on. Must have been my mother's father, because her mother had died by then. Yeah, and you could send it to neighbours and all that, and it would arrive the next day. An incredible service, isn't it? Was it? I think it went up by British Rail, and I think the post office had something to do with it as well. Quite good. Right, Now, what's this? Adrian, Ralph Winter, incorrect. Both answer. They both demonise the Germans of the 1930s and 40s. Yes, that's something I do disagree with. I think that I've got to be careful what I say now, because I daren't wander into the H word, if you get what I mean, because I'll be off this quicker than anything. I've just put something up on the screen, and before I say anything more, I like people, and I believe that there's psychopaths and humans, okay? And in wars, lots of nasty things happen, and there's lots of good people on both sides, and there's lots of bad, well, there's a minority of bad people on both sides, let's put it that way. But certain things like I daren't talk about this. Hang on. That was a headline in the newspapers. That doesn't mean to say I'm anti-dooflop or anything like that, because I treat people as human beings. I am anti-psychopath. Yes, I don't like psychopath. Now, when I say anti-psychopath, psychopaths that harm human beings. Psychopaths that don't harm human beings, that's it. They're okay. Well, they're not okay, but I can tolerate them, because there's a lot of psychopaths that are brilliant surgeons, and I'm not saying all surgeons are psychopaths, but there are quite a few apparently that because if someone dies on the operating table, it means nothing to them. Right, now we got here. Not as much as we would. Isn't that nice? Not as much as we would miss you and the laugh we all have. Oh, isn't that kind? Just choked. Thank you very much. That's very moving, that is. But back to what Adrian was saying. Yeah, you got to be so careful what you say. My view is, well, I'll give you an example, okay? There's several friends of mine that believe that the earth is flat, okay? Now, a very good friend of mine, I'm not talking about Torna, but he believed, he's passed away now, he believed the earth was flat and highly educated. And there's quite a few. Now, I don't laugh, but I believe the earth is round. And the reason I believe the earth is round is for three reasons. One is because I build sundials, and the geometry works out perfectly. I mean, I live 52 degrees north, and if you live in Spain, it's 38 degrees. So I know these off by heart. If you go a bit further to Birmingham or somewhere like that, it's 53 degrees, and so on and so forth. So the degrees, because of the curvature of the earth. That's the one reason. So if the earth was flat, the geometry for making a sundial would not work out. Number two, I've seen the earth's curvature because I went to Dover on probably one of the clearest days for decades, and I could actually see the curvature. And France looked as if it was just, it didn't look 25 miles away or where the distance is. It looked very, very close because it was so clear. And the third reason is that I've actually seen an eclipse where the earth goes in front of the moon at night, and you can see the curvature of the earth. And the fourth is I've been up in an aeroplane and I've seen the curvature of the earth. Now, I keep an open mind. I believe it's round, but if anybody can convince me it's flat, I will listen to them. I won't jeer at them. I won't laugh at them. I'll just say, yes, that's interesting, but I believe the earth is round. But I don't fall out with my friends that believe the earth is flat. I will listen to them. Again, I could be wrong. I don't think so, but I could be. Now, if the government suddenly said, terribly sorry, you're not allowed to say anything about the flat earth, about the earth being flat. It's, we'll knock you off of YouTube if you say that you think the earth is flat. Okay? It's against community standards to think the earth is flat. I would then start thinking, hang about, perhaps it is flat. Why are they holding back this information? Eh? And there's an old saying, especially from East Germany, if you want to promote anything, ban it. Now, I'll give you an example. Spycatcher. Remember the book Spycatcher? That was about 20 years ago, probably more. Well, it was banned in this country but it's published in Australia. And this is absolutely ridiculous. They banned it, yet within 24 hours, illicit copies were filtering into this country. And I remember a couple of days after the ban, there's a bloke on the tube train, because I worked in London at that time, reading Spycatch. They had to lift the ban. So banning things, it makes things popular because people think, wonder why it's banned. Now, we're not allowed to say anything about, and I'll put this banner up again, and I hope I don't get booted off, about this. We're not allowed to say anything about that. We're not allowed to investigate it. But that was in the Daily Express. Okay? It doesn't mean to say I'm anti whatever, you know. I've worked with all nationalities. As I say, I worked with a Jewish chap who told me some fantastic Jewish jokes, and we used to have a right old laugh. And there was a German chap that worked there. We used to do Roman salutes for a laugh. And it was a time when Hello Hello was on television. And you go up to him. This German fella had he had to have a good sense of humour. He said, "This is the drawings from the structural engineer. I will say this only once." And he spent a weekend, he went back home to Germany, came back with a backache. And somebody said, "Oh, it's all that goose stepping, mate. That's what's done it." Now, can you imagine that today? I mean, it's all humour, like humour, you know. And we used to the banter didn't hurt anybody. And if it would have done, we'd have apologised and stopped immediately. But it's just banter, you know, that's the way it is. But I think that there's a lot, you know, of hidden history that we do not hear about. And let's go back in here. In the chat room, David, hello, David. Oh, more nice words. Sorry, make me choked here. Yes, you bright up my evening in difficult times, so you will be missed. Well, I hope I can carry on here. I hope I've been a good boy tonight. I hope they don't boot me off tonight. Get some contact info on your site so we move to alternatives. Okay, David. Well, you know, slap wrists. I think after 2017, I think it's about time I did some work on my website. Louise, if you believe Earth is round, then it could be a flat circle. You've got a very good point there. However, Earth being a sphere would be more accurate as it is three-dimensional. Well, this is the thing about the so-called moon landings, you see. Why is the Earth so small? Surely it'd be huge if he was on the moon. It'd be very, very big, wouldn't it? And what I thought of was, you know, the moon rover, nobody mentions anything about this. How comes when it's going along on this fine dust, fine soil, and it's 16G, why didn't it create a dust storm like the lorries do in Australian desert? In the Australian desert, they create a massive dust cloud, and you have to sit in your car for about 20 minutes. I've never been there, but I've seen this, and I've been told by Australians, close all the windows because the dust. Now you think you've got that lunar rover, all the dust would be going up, and it'd just be staying there. Surely it wouldn't fall back down to the lunar surface at the speed of Earth's gravity, would it? Because you notice that all the dust goes down at the speed of gravity. Funny that it doesn't sort of go. When they talk about the waggling flag, and I've noticed the more that NASA get cornered, they sort of go into UFOs and aliens and, you know, was there something hidden on the moon? No. My personal belief is I don't think they've ever got anything past the Van Allen belt. That's my personal belief. And I do think, I wonder if they're going to get booted off of this. I do think that the Mars rover, when you look at it, I think those are pictures from Devon Island, which is near the Arctic. It's one of the largest uninhabited islands in the world. and it's a very dry sort of area because some of the photographs from the Mars, one of them showed a lemming. If you go on to Richard D. Hall's, where is he? I'll find him somewhere. Rich Planet. If you go onto it there, he actually did a program where you see a picture of a lemming, and there's a fella. He doesn't live too far from me, actually. He's one of these people that look at fossils. Can't remember what they're called. Paleontologist. That's it. He's a paleontologist, and he started looking at these Mars rover photographs and thinking, that's strange. That looks like the type of things we see on Earth. And if you match the pictures up, so I think we're being told a few porkies there, aren't we? We're being told porkies all the way along, so why can't they tell porkies about that? Now, you might be laughing at me and saying, of course they're on Mars. Oh, what a load of rubbish. But I don't think so. But what's this, Evan? Care assistance, eh? What? Okay. The skeleton on Devon Island was the giveaway for me. Was there? Yeah, I think was it a whale or something? Because also another thing that Richard said, because he's he was quite highly qualified in I don't know what he was in, but he worked out, I think it that because it's supposed to be so freezing cold there, how can the batteries last on the over? Because I know my car battery doesn't last very well in the cold weather. Right, now we got here. Oh, hang on, we got here. Sorry, I jumped in. Adrian. Oh, Adrian. Aaron, do you follow Life in the Mix? No. Is he on? I guess he's on YouTube. I'll look it up after the program, actually. And let's keep our fingers crossed that this program will remain. Oh, by the way, you know the missing comments problem? There's a bloke, he's called History Debunked. He said that a lot of his comments are going missing. And I think when your comments go missing, that's a sure sign that you're going to be put in the naughty room pretty soon. So, History Debunked, I think you might be a naughty boy like me. Right. Louise, why is the moon the only planet that doesn't rotate? I don't think it's a planet, is it? It's a moon. So its dark side is ever visible. Apparently, it's the only planet that doesn't do so. And that's right. Well, I know that as a lot of people believe that it's was brought here by aliens or whatever. But with UFOs, you know, with this mystery hour I'm thinking of doing, and I think there's a lot of people quite keen on mystery hour. I'm not going to touch UFOs or go there very much because, well, supposing I said a UFO landed in my garden last night, disprove me. Or if it sort of landed with thousands of people seeing it, well, then I'd have some evidence. It's a bit like the old Les Dawson joke. He said, UFO landed in my garden. He said, I wasn't frightened. I'd just been seeing the mother-in-law. He said, and suddenly, he said, this hideous creature hopped out and said, I have been travelling 3 billion light years. Could I use your lavatory, please? That's a Les Dawson joke. Right. Now let's have a look here. Silent Tevin, care assistance. Interesting. Sorry, I don't know. Look at fossils. Oh, yeah. Fossils on Mars. There's Adrian. So you're saying it is flat, not spherical? I suppose you're talking about the Earth. Oh dear, we're going to get into a debate about the flat Earth now. I mean, it might be flat. The flat Earth scammers use false Earth curvature figures. Well, you know, again, I'm very open-minded. I will keep open-minded. Well, I'll give you an example. In the 70s, I went to see in the Science Museum when I was studying up in London. Sorry, I wasn't studying the Science Museum. I was studying architecture, but we had a few hours free, so we went to the Science Museum, and it's free in those days. I think it's, I don't know if it's free to get in the Science Museum, but it's free in those days. We went along with a couple of lecturers to the Science Museum to see the command module. That's the bit that comes back, a little bit, looks like a spinning top. And they had a platform which you could go up, and they had the door open, or the hatch cover, as they call it. And I can't remember how many people went, but I don't know. I'm only guessing that 12 of us, there's 3 or 4 lecturers. And it was I think it was a Monday afternoon. There wasn't many people, wasn't any tourists there. And we went in there, we went up this gangway and looked inside, and all of us walked in convinced that they had walked on the moon, and we walked out convinced they hadn't walked on the moon. And it was really funny because in this room they used to have these old boys, I think they were retired, and they were sort of like commissionaires. They would sort of stand there and you'd say, I don't know, where's a room that has skeletons or something? And they direct people from places. And this bloke, I'll never forget it, nice old boy, standing there. He was pissing himself laughing with what we were saying. And he could see we weren't vandals or anything like that. And one of the lecturers said, excuse me, mate, said, do you mind if we go duck underneath the sort of railing and have a quick look underneath the command module? I just want to check it out. He said, I haven't seen you. So words to that effect, I haven't seen you. I'll look the other way. And I had a quick look underneath the heat shield, and it looked as if someone had gone along with a blow lamp. But I'm not kidding you, the command module, if somebody had said it had been done, made in a junior school, you'd have believed them. Did they go to the moon in that? Well, I very much doubt whether they could have actually reached Southend on seeing it. I mean, it was. And when you looked at it, I'll never forget it. There was a first aid cabinet that looked as if it was made of wood, and it was on the piss. And then loads and loads and loads and loads of switches. It looks as if they bought a job lot from a sort of, well, they didn't have eBay in those days, but the equivalent of eBay, from Exchange and Mart. That's what you had in those days. They look as if they bought a job lot and thought, I don't know, put lots of switches in there, makes it look more, makes it look more technical. What these switches were for, I do not know. But it looked like a sort of, my own view, looked like a put-up job. It really did. It looked as if some people had sat around and said, well, how can we build something that makes it look as if somebody went to the build it back or down? Right. I have a quick looking chat. And I'm afraid up to my hour. Now let's have a look in here. Now that was interesting what you said there, Adrian. Flat Earth scammers use false Earth curvature figures. That's interesting. And it says, no, Louis, welcome. No, check out my channel. Oh, I will check out your channel. I didn't know you had a channel. That's interesting. Thanks, Adrian. And we got here, History Debunked, awesome channel. Tartarian history was an eye-opener. Ah, that's right, yes. And I like his attitude. He's a sort of like it's like a kind of friendly elderly uncle, isn't he? Sort of, hello. I like that sort of attitude. And they're not too long. They're only about 10 or 15 minutes. I've learned a lot from him. And very, very good. John Levi is a good YouTube channel. Oh, John Levi. I'm going to check these out. And as Rob Brand, hello Rob Brand, it was a copy of the module. Don't think so. Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure it was the actual one. You might be right. I'm not, I'll keep an open mind. But, if I was in court and they said, do you see the actual command module? I'd have said, yes. Tell me what's the right one. Oh, you make me guess now. I've always thought it was the real one. Because, you know, one of the blokes who I thought it was going to look a bit flash, you know, like, you know, like a full Cortina, you know. That was the car those days. Right. Bloody hell, I'm showing my age now, aren't I? Right. Now, yeah, I'll check that out. You've made me think. This is what is the good thing about the chat room. When you think all right about something, it's like what they call it, false memory syndrome. We're all subject to false memory syndrome, but I was pretty sure it was around one, but I stand corrected if I'm wrong. So, you know, I'll wave the flag. Thanks for that, Rob. I'll check that out. Yes, and this is good. I like to be, you know, if I say anything wrong, I like to be corrected, because I think that constructive criticism is what makes you better, doesn't it? Really. We'll do Adrian. Right, here we go. Now, what's this? Emin. Hello, Emin. Again, Alexandra Wall. Got my pronouncing. Piss renouncing everything tonight. Getting all my worms in a mucking fuddle. Says there's some significance in the relative proportions of the sun and the moon. I can't remember what it is exactly, but it's something to do with squaring the circle. Yes, I've heard something to do with that. It doesn't quite work out right. I mean, my view regarding UFOs is I think they're here, but we're too dumb to see them. And I don't think they'll come, if they've got the technology to come from a different universe or wherever, they wouldn't come in little tin cans and flying saucers. I personally think, again, I could be wrong, that these flying objects that we're seeing are our future time machines, people going back in time. I really do believe that, because, you know, I mean, I was very interested. I did a lot of research into the Foo Fighters during World War II. Now, I did see a talk by Michael Bentine who looked into it, and he said that when they improved the oxygen masks of pilots during the war, the incidence of Foo Fighters dropped phenomenally, but he didn't actually stop that much. But so it could have been, some of the sightings could have been due to, you know, wearing these oxygen masks, primitive ones that they had at the beginning of the war, and near the end of the war, they improved upon them quite considerably. But there's, in fact, so many pilots saw these Foo Fighters. You know, Churchill wanted to have a report on it. It was, you know, there was loads of them, these sightings. There is also a belief that it could have been some form of German technology. Who knows? Because there's those concrete rings. I think they're in Eastern Europe, and we still do not know what the German scientists built them for. And some people believe it was anti-gravity. Who knows? It's right. Now, what have we got here? Louise, where are we? And it is something to do. Oh, here are Louise. I mean, it's something to do with the eclipse and the fact that the moon covers the sun in entirety. That's it. Yes, yes. Alexandra War is Evelyn War's grandson, and excuse me if I pronounce his surname incorrectly, and Uberon. War's son, it's weird, he's got a YouTube channel. I suppose what he talks about is a bit Masonic, but I think he's all right. Oh, that's interesting. Louise, Stanley Kubrick done a video on how he faked the moonlight. Well, actually, reading this in the most politest and respectful way, it's been proven to be a hoax, that video. But, this is the big but, if you look at the moon landings, Stanley Kubrick was a genius at, I think it was called front projection, because they made a breakthrough with technology in the 60s, and he used it in the film 2001. But you can see a line, and that same line appears in the moon landing shots. But that actual video, I've seen it, and it's been proven to be a hoax, a very clever hoax, but it is a hoax. Sorry about that. I hope you don't think I'm impolite by saying that, but I mean that in the most politest way. Now, Rob Random, not 100%, but I saw it back in the 70s as a kid, and I'm sure it was billed as real too. But it was a copy. I think they were just bigging it up at the time and then had to come clean. Thanks, Rob. Well, you've made me look into it because, you know, I don't like saying anything that's wrong. None of us do we really? So thanks, Rob, for that. Yeah, because I mean, I've always, hand on heart, thought it was the real deal. So, but no, it was, you know, but again, when you look at the lunar landing, and I don't think, I'm not sure you can be booted off of YouTube with questioning the moon landings. Might be, don't know. When you see the, what do they call it, the lunar lander, lunar module, wrapped in bago foil, I think that. And also the film, you know, roll film, radiation from the sun, it would just been white, wouldn't it? And I know that they use Hasselblad cameras, and they got the. How do you get the backlighting? I know that there was a chappie, Nexus magazine, Marcus Allen. I used to advertise in Nexus magazine. I used to run a business, and I spoke to Marcus Allen several times. Great guy, fantastic person, very interesting, sweeter. And he does some. I don't know if they're still on YouTube, but he's done some fantastic videos on how they fake the moon landing, and he really looks into it. In fact, I'm wondering whether I can get him on the Mystery Hour. I'm sure he will, because I know him. So yeah, why not? It'd be good to get Marcus Allen on, wouldn't it? Of Nexus magazine. Now, where have we got? Louise, we've got, yes, that's another coincidence, but it's more than what that I think. Oh, it's regarding the moon and the sun. Oh, Louise, that's fine, Chris. We live in a. Oh, thanks, Louise. As I say, I don't like to sort of prove people, but again, you know, I looked into it, and it was because I first saw it. I thought, whoa, yeah, war away, you know, right? And as Chris, hello, Chris. Hey, Eric, just saw you are live. Got some strikes. Yes, I know, but again, I look at them like an ace pilot during World War II. You know, I've got a YouTube strike. It sort of shows maturity, doesn't it? You've come of age. Something to be proud of, I think, you know. I've been banned from YouTube, you know. I mean, when you see James Corbett, who I think is probably one of the, I mean, he's not a trained journalist, he admits it, but he's better than a trained journalist. He's brilliant. He's very, very good, James Corbett. I mean, especially what he said about the First World War. He went right into it. And what he says, he's got the facts. It's not this sort of airy-fairy stuff like, I was told by a bloke up the pub that this. No, he actually lays the facts out. There it is, there and then. Again, I think James Corbett is... and also, I mean, Alex Jones, you know, what gets on my nerves, everything he says, it was the nasty NAZ eyes. You know, if he's got indigestion, it was a nasty NAZ eyes. So that's when the old warning lights start thinking, I wonder who's paying him. But he has brought a lot of, shall we say, facts out into the open that wouldn't have normally been brought out into the open. But I remain open-minded. I think that I'm pretty sure that James Corbett of the Corbett Report is genuine. Alex Jones, how does he get onto the BBC? I'm always question that. How does people get onto the mainstream? Again, nothing personally against him. I don't like saying anything bad about people unless they're in the government or they are, shall we say, this geezer. Can't stand him. And also, this badge thing. You notice that? Just thought I'd show that again, you know. Right, now, let's have a look here. Comment. I better wrap this program up. I've been on an hour and 20 minutes. So I'll just read a few more here and we'll wrap the program up. And Adrian, about 10 years ago, I decided to question if or not the Earth is at the center of the universe. So my research armed me to take on the FE PSYOP in advance. That's interesting, Adrian. Very interesting. Now, Ralph went to Marcus. Oh, yeah, the Marcus of Nexus magazine would be a great guest. Red Nexus in the 90s. Yes, yes. And you see adverts my business in there as well. Well, I've closed it now, but my business I used to have. Because what I did, you see, is as I was freelance in my main profession, sometimes you had lean periods. So I started a little business and my dad used to run it for me when I was working. So, you know, but that was a long time ago. Now, let's have a look. Adrian again. I know how NASA pulled off the fake figures of the Earth's distance from the sun. Other interesting point. Well, I wouldn't believe hardly anything that NASA says. Was it NASA stands for Never a Straight Answer, or as Marcus Allen says, National Association. Hang on, NAS. That's it. National Association of Space Actors. I think that's the best one. That was a Marcus Allen joke. That one was. You only get on the BBC if you're willing to lie with a smile on your face. Oh yes, like the false smile syndrome. Was it fake person syndrome? Yeah, it's always a sort of. It's like sort of visual sort of origami, isn't it? It's like facial origami. Right. We've got Adrian. We finish off with Adrian. Mark Windows talked about publicity last night. Did he? Yeah, because what happened, excuse my language, I think his program went tits. Well, on my computer, it went tits up because I was just about to answer some poor son that was asking me whether I was going to do a program about blood groups. It just went, pfft. And then when I went back, it started with another program. So I don't know what went wrong. But no. But I'll have to listen to that again because I don't know how far into the program it was. I think I've been listening to it from about 9:30, must have been about 10ish that it went tits up. But as I say, if the person is on there tonight, I do apologise. You must think I'm the ignorant sod because I couldn't get back and answer you. Well, if I'm not banned, what will happen next Wednesday? I will do an announcement, probably sometime on Wednesday, on where you can find Caroline and us. Okay, it'll be somewhere, and all being well, I mean, it'll be 6 o'clock. I think what we're probably going to do is I'll record the program. You'll be able to see it live. If Caroline can get onto Facebook, it'll either be my Facebook or her Facebook. We'll work it out. Okay, and then I'll download or upload or whatever you do with it. I'll load it onto BitChute for now, so you'll be able to see the program on BitChute. What I will miss is this chat room and that on Caroline's program. But all being well, if I don't get banned, next week, Monday next week at 8 o'clock, please join me again, and I'll just read out a few more. It's addictive, isn't it, this chat room? Oh, yeah, man, I'm on chat room at the moment. Now, what have we got here? It says, what do you think the real reason for the ring of satellites Elon Musk is sending up? Elon Musk, yes. Well, without doubt, it's not what we're being told and what they're there for are two different things. Let's put it that way. Don't know much about them, to be honest with you. But yeah, I whatever people say, if it's for, they say, oh, it's for the good of humanity. No, it won't be. Don't forget to leave us laughing. Where's your joke? Well, that was it, wasn't it? It was Hancock with his tampons. Yeah. Now, let's have a look here. Do you think that the nature of outer space, this is Emin, the stars and planets might be completely different to what we're told, as in less material than Earth, and that's why they're lying to us about it? Yeah. And got Dan MC back. They are luminaries. Well, quite honestly, we've been lied to so much. I don't believe anything now. I just reverse everything I'm told. Just reverse the lot. Because to me, science has an answer for some things, but it doesn't have an answer for everything. And science is really a religion. And this is what gets me with BBC. But I don't watch the telly. But they always have these smug gits. And that smugness gets right up my uter. BBC smugness. I feel, well, you know. But anyway, I normally leave you on a joke, but I said it early, didn't I? Sorry about that. But join me. Well, it'll probably be sometime Wednesday. I'll put a message on telling you where you can find Caroline and myself. Join me if I'm not banned next week, 8 o'clock, same place. And remember, there's the BitChute channel below this video. And always remember, keep smiling, have a laugh, because this is the way we're going to beat them. Laugh at them. That's how Ceausescu was booted out of office. People laughed at him. And there's one last one from Louise. What have we got here? If you get a second strike, how about just leave this slot for a laugh and a chat with a quick mention as to what you will do, seriously, an alternative site. Right, seriously, if I get a week's ban, please go on to my website, fockhamhallradio.com. Okay. If you go onto it immediately, it's not updated. The link is below here as well. So, and that's the best thing. Any problems, go to fockhamhallradio.com and you'll be able to find me there. And I'll tell you what's happening from there as well. And I think that's got to be like the Central Post. And what we got here? Night. Oh, see you Monday, definitely. Yes, thank you very much. And we got what's it got here? Like a clock, never out of sync. Laugh out loud. Spiraling and spinning and turning different ways. The stars remain the same. Look up. The moon is rotating. Check ISWA. Huge magnetic signatures that shouldn't be. Interesting. And Adrian, go to Marks and Spencer. Sorry. Go to Marks and Spencer. I'm at a difficult age. Go to Mark's Spreaker channel. Sorry. I could go to Marks and Spencer's. Go to Mark's Spreaker channel. Click onto the latest MP3. Then you will be able to download the chat. Oh, okay. Oh, thanks, Adrian. Anyway, thank you very much and good night. And see you next week. And smack, I'll get on with trying to, if I can get the old-fashioned software to work, I'll try and update the my website. And I will do an announcement on here on Wednesday of where, and I don't know whether I'll be able to get the website updated before Wednesday, but I'll do my best. And see you next week. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a good week. Keep on laughing. And if you want to get me a cup of coffee, put a few copies in the old in the hat, that'd be very nice. Thank you very much and good night.